After studying this module, you shall be able to number 1, know the importance of psychological assessment in health and counseling psychology. Number 2, understand the career interest inventory. Number 3, know the important tests used in counseling psychology. And number 4, understand the dimensions of temperament scale and family environment scale. Health refers to a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of some diseases. It also includes emotional, moral, aesthetic, and spiritual components. Hence, the role of psychological counseling for promotion of better health, adjustment, and integration becomes imperative. Counseling psychology is a branch of psychology that is concerned with the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of abnormal behavior, but its province tends to be the less severe behavior disorder and the everyday problem in living. Counseling psychology is a branch of psychology that is concerned with the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of abnormal behavior, but its province tends to be the less severe behavior disorders and the everyday promotion problems in living, such as marital and family, communication problem, career decisions, and difficulty with school study habits. In this module, we shall focus on the importance of psychological testing in counseling, testing in career guidance with focus on career interest inventory, and testing in families counseling with focus on family environment scale and dimensions of temperament scale. We also enlist a few tests that may be used in counseling setting. Psychological tests in counseling. Psychological tests find useful application when dealing with life-threatening variables like stress, anxiety, and so on. These situations need a three-stage strategy of diagnosis, treatment, coping, termination, and follow-up, and become applicable for career counseling, family counseling, and so on. Assessment of health-related quality of life is an important consideration in this regard. The two approaches to quality of life assessment are the psychometric approach and the decision theory approach. The psychometric approach attempts to provide separate measures for the different dimensions of quality of life. Perhaps the best known example of psychometric approach is the sickness impact profile given by Bergner et al. In the year 1981. The decision theory approach attempts to weigh the different dimensions of quality of life in order to provide a single expression. To summarize, health psychology focuses on understanding the role of psychological variables in the onset, course, treatment, and prevention of illness, disease, and disability. Individual interviews, surveys, and paper and pencil tests are most frequently used tools of researchers in health psychology to assess the current state of affairs with respect to some disease or condition, gauge treatment process, and evaluate outcome of intervention. Counseling psychologist addresses issues of marital and family communication problems, career decisions, and difficulty with school study habits. Career interest inventory is focused to provide information concerning the interest in 15 different occupational areas and can be used in combination with differential aptitude test DAT if the measure of aptitude is required for guidance and counseling purpose. Dimensions of temperament scale DTS has been devised to measure the temperament of a problem of a person on 15 school selected dimensions. The family environment scale has been developed to measure the environment of the family on relationship, personal growth, and system maintenance. In each of the mentioned areas, the need exists for reliable and valid tools to gauge change with regard to some psychological variable. Many tests useful in health psychology research may also be used in clinical and counseling context.
Health refers to a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of some disease. It also includes emotional, moral, aesthetic, and spiritual components. Hence, the role of psychological counseling for promotion of better health, adjustment, and integration becomes imperative. Counseling psychology is a branch of psychology that is concerned with the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of abnormal behavior, but its proven strengths to be the less severe behavior disorders and the everyday problems in living, such as marital and family communication problems, career decisions, and difficulty with school study habits. In this module, we shall focus on importance of psychological testing in counseling, testing in career guidance with focus on career interest inventory, and testing in family counseling with focus on family environment scale and dimensions of temperament scale. We also enlist a few tests that may be used in the counseling settings. Psychological tests find useful application when dealing with life threatening variables like stress, anxiety, and so on. These situations need a three-stage strategy of diagnosis, treatment or coping, termination and follow up, and become applicable for career counseling, family counseling, and so on. Assessment of health related quality life is an important consideration in this regard. The two approaches to quality of life assessment are the psychometric approach and the decision theory approach. The psychometric approach attempts to provide separate measures for the different dimensions of quality of life. Perhaps the best known example of psychometric approach is the sickness impact profile given by Birchner et al. In 1981. The decision theory approach attempts to weigh the different dimensions of quality of life in order to provide its single expression. Quality of well-being scale, the MC Master Health Index Questionnaire, the SF-36, and the Nottingham Health Profile are other important tests for health and quality of life assessment. Marital satisfaction inventory, premarital personal and relationship issues, communication and happiness scale, dyadic adjustment scale, pre-marriage awareness inventory, and relationship evaluation are important psychological measurements for family counseling. Tests for career guidance. Although counseling psychologists work in a variety of settings, most are employed by schools, colleges, and universities where they work in the school counseling center. Counseling psychologists are more apt to employ psychological tests when the presenting problem involves a career choice decision. Career interest inventory, a brief profile. Career interest inventory is a 170 items inventory which is used to provide information concerning the interest in 15 different occupational areas. The inventory has been prepared by Gillian Hyde and Geoff Trispe and published by the Psychological Corporation. Career interest inventory can be used alone or in combination with differential aptitude tests if the measure of aptitude is required for guidance and counseling purpose. The responses to items are a 5-point Likert type through which the subject shows his level of liking or disliking for various activities mentioned in the item. The items are like help families choose a home to buy, and responses are 5 like very much, 4 like a little, 3 unsure or undecided, 2 dislike a little, 1 dislike a great deal. The inventory requires approximately 30 minutes to complete plus around 10 minutes for reading and explaining instruction. The inventory is quite reliable with Cronbach's coefficient alpha for the 15 occupational groups ranging from R.87 to R.94 and the standard errors of measurement ranging from 2.4 to 3.6. Since the results of career interest inventory are intended for immediate use in career education and guidance, it is important to have content validity for it. For this, career interest inventory uses dictionary of occupational titles published by the US Department of Labor. The test score profile of the career interest inventory helps to focus on career related discussions between the person who takes the test and the career advisor. For any beneficial outcome, it is important that the person who has taken the test be fully involved in the interpretation of the test results. The interest scores need to be interpreted keeping in mind the person's personal goals and aspirations. The test scores acquire greater significance if they are interpreted along with the results of others' tests like aptitude, educational achievements, and personality tests. Information about a person's work experience and leisure pursuits makes the test scores more meaningful, as all this information helps in career planning for the person. Illustration: a person ABC has a well defined profile where his level of interest high for some occupational groups, medium for others, and low for the remaining groups. The areas of high interest are clearly differentiated from those with medium and low interest. The profile indicates a high interest in the areas of fine arts, math and science, social science, and management. The related educational subjects for these occupational groups show a great degree of commonality. The occupational group of fine arts indicates that the related educational subjects are speech or drama, photography, journalism, creative writing, music or art, and English or foreign language. The related educational subjects for mathematics and science are computer programming, mathematics or science, and creative writing, along with other subjects like marketing or sales, business law or management, and bookkeeping. All these areas are related to handling of information and creativity. Both these areas related very well to his interest in pursuing a course in computer animation as it involves computer programming as well as creativity. The career interest profile not only helps in gaining self awareness but also helps in constructing a list of areas for career exploration and identifying a specific course of action. Educational planning, career choices, and their impact on the person's lifestyle and roles as well as strategies for career explorations are important areas of discussion during the process of career counseling, and this test is an excellent tool for discussion and planning of these areas. Dimensions of temperament scale has been devised by Professor N.K. Chadha and Ms. Sunanda Chandra to measure the temperament of a person on 15 selected dimensions: sociability, ascendance, secretiveness, reflectiveness, impulsivity, placid, accepting, responsible, vigorous, cooperative, persistence, warmth, aggressiveness, tolerance, and tough mindedness. In brackets are written the number of items for each dimension. There are total 152 yes no type responses which were standardized on a sample of 250 persons. Some items of the test are as follows. Item 24: I don't have strong political opinion. Item 42: I talk about myself only if it is very necessary. Item 65: Do you try hard to stand tearless? Item 94: Do you like to plan things in advance? Item 149: Do you like to walk fast? The scale has test retest reliability of 0.94 and has been checked successfully for cross validity and empirical validity. The overall cross validity stands at 0.81. The test is available with National Psychological Corporation, 4/230 Kacheri Ghat, Agra 282004, UP, India. Family Environment Scale. The FES has been developed by Professor N.K. Chadha and Dr. Harpreet Bhatia to measure the environment of the most important human institution, that is, family, on three dimensions. The three broad dimensions on which the scale measures the family environment are relationship, personal growth, and system maintenance. The relationship dimension is further divided into sub-dimensions of cohesion, expressiveness, conflict, and acceptance and caring. Personal growth dimension is bifurcated further into independence and active recreational orientation. System maintenance dimensions have been divided into sub-dimensions of organization and control. The scale, by the same title by Moons, is the conceptual basis for the scale. The FES has 69 items and has qualitative norms between age range 17 to 50 years. Scores and interpretation. Consider the score of a person on FES as 250, whose dimension-wise description is given in the table. This indicates that the family environment is low on 5 dimensions, that is, cohesion, acceptance and caring, active recreational activities, organization and control. Out of these 5 dimensions, 2 relate to relationship, that is cohesion and acceptance and caring, 2 to system maintenance, that is organization and control, and 1 with personal growth, that is active recreational orientation. The subject has scored high on only 2 dimensions, that is expressiveness and independence. The only average score is on conflict. So, the family has low system maintenance as it has scored low on both its dimensions, that is organization and control. High expressiveness and independence, along with low cohesion and acceptance and caring, may be the causal factors behind the average conflicts, which may deteriorate into major ones in the future if counseling and intervention in some form does not take place. High score on expressiveness can have positive as well as negative implication. If the expressiveness is used as vent for negative thoughts and actions, it would increase the conflict within the family. On the other hand, if the expressiveness is used in a positive manner, it can bring about an increase in the cohesiveness of the family. Similarly, independence in thought and decision making is positive, but it is not appropriate if it is a way for the members of the family growing away from each other. Child Rearing Practices Questionnaire. Applicability, potential or actual mothers and fathers. Measures 16 factors of child rearing practices. Reliability and validity. Congruence coefficients were computed among rotated factor pattern matrices. All factor mulches were significant. Additional validation research completed on the questionnaire includes the relation of child rearing practices to achievement in school, prediction of behavior problems in 6 to 8-year-old children. The Thomas Self Concept Values Test. Applicability 3 to 9 years. Measures self concept of young children using the self report format. Number of items 14 bipolar adjectival items to be responded by the child 4 times. Child's own perception. His perceptions of others' perceptions of him, that is, his mother, teachers, or peers. Reliability. Test retest reliability is 0.78 for the total score, 0.82 for self-reliance score, 0.68 for the teacher reference scale, 0.61 for peer reference scale, internal consistency 0.73. Validity is construct validity. Self concept inventory. Applicability: high school students. Measures self-concept and self-ideal discrepancies. Number of items 68. Reliability: test retest reliability coefficient on self-concept scores was found to be 0.81 and test retest reliability on self-ideal discrepancies was found to be 0.72. Validity: content validity was established. Convergent validity with Dio's personality test also worked out. Bell adjustment inventory. Applicability: high school and college students. Measures individual life adjustments. Number of items 200 items over 6 subscales with yes or no responses. Reliability odd even 0.80. Validity cross validity construct validity by correlating the scale with other tests. Adolescent adjustment inventory. Applicability adolescents. Measures personal and social adjustment. Items on personal adjustment measure neurotic tendencies, feelings of inferiority, guilt, personal worth, and attitude towards future. Social adjustment items measure the adjustment towards home and school as well as sex adjustment. Number of items 88. Reliability odd even reliability coefficients were 0.84 and 0.95 for personal and social adjustment respectively after applying the Spearman-Brown correlation. Validity validated against teachers' ratings, Bell's adjustment inventory, California personal and social adjustment inventory, parents' ratings, and by comparing the adjustment scores of delinquent and non-delinquent groups. Loreton self-attitude scale. Applicability developed on female subjects from 14 to 22 years. Measures the individual's attitudes towards his own physical appearance, physical health, interpersonal relationships with peers, interpersonal relationships with others, personal worth, and mental health. Number of items 150. Reliability test retest reliabilities for the various subscales are all in 0.80s. Religiosity scale. Applicability students and adults. Measures intensity of religious attitude. Number of items 36 items, 5 alternative responses, and the testee can choose any one response. Reliability split half reliability is 0.82, test retest reliability 0.91. Validity content, predictive, and concurrent validity. Let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Health psychology focuses on understanding the role of psychological variables in the onset, course, treatment, and prevention of illness, disease, and disability. Individual interviews, surveys, and paper pencil tests are most frequently used tools of researchers in health psychology to assess a current state of affairs with respect to some disease or condition, gauge treatment process, and evaluate outcomes of intervention. Counseling psychologists address issues of marital and family communication problems, career decisions, and difficulty with school study habits. Career interest inventory is used to provide information concerning the interest in 15 different occupational areas and can be used in combination with differential aptitude tests if the measure of aptitude is required for guidance and counseling purpose. Dimensions of temperament scale has been devised to measure the temperament of a person on 15 selected dimensions. The FES has been developed to measure the environment of the family on relationship, personal growth, and system maintenance. In each of the mentioned areas, the need exists for reliable and valid tools to gauge change with regard to some psychological variable. Many tests useful in health psychology research may also be used in clinical and counseling contexts.